So in the last session, we have discussed about the data management process. How can we manage the data inside our Salesforce instance? And how can we perform the DML operations on those object records? And what are the various mechanisms are available in Salesforce? We have discussed. And along with that, yesterday we have discussed about the data loader feature and how can we download the data loader from our Salesforce organization, and then how can we use those data loaders in order to perform the DML operations on your objects in terms of bulk. That means bulk records also we can able to process with the help of this data loader. And then, so as part of that, yesterday's session we have discussed how can we log into the data loader by using the Salesforce username and the password and the security token. Then how to generate the security token to log in into our data loader, we have discussed that. Now, by using the data loader, we can able to perform those operations, the DML operations we can perform. So in the last session, we have discussed how can we export the data from our objects. Okay, how can we export the data from our objects, we have discussed. Now today we'll see how to insert some records into the object and how to perform update operations, upsert operation, delete operation, hard delete, and export all. We'll see the remaining features of data loader. Then, how can we insert some set of records into my data, into my object with the help of this data loader? Now let's see practically here. So now by using this insert button, we can insert one or more number of records into the object at a time. So we can insert one or more number of records into the object at a time. Then how can we supply this number of records? Those records we have to place inside the CSV file. That CSV file we have to give as input to your data loader tool. Okay, that means we need to prepare those records. We need to write those records information inside your CSV file. That CSV file we need to supply to the data loader tool so that it will take up those CSV file. It will pick up each and every record from that Excel sheet, and it will be inserting those records into the object over here. Now, in this case, we need to supply the records to the data loader in the form of .csv file. We need to supply those records in the form of the .csv file to the data loader as an input over here. Then, how can we insert the records? Now let's see practically in this case. So let me take that yesterday's file. I'm taking up that yesterday's file. So these are the various records are available here, which are available inside my account object. We have these records inside my account object. These are the records. So now what I want to do is, I want to insert some set of records. Okay, I want to insert some set of records into my object through this data loader. Then how to do this one? Now we'll see practically in this case. For example, so now here in this case here, now, how to insert the records into the object? Now let's see practically. So So now what I want to do is, I want to insert some set of records, so that I'm going to be creating one more copy of the same file. Accounts, inserts. So I'm going to be saving this file. Nothing but I'm creating a copy of this. Now, here we are having so many columns are available here. ID column, name column, type, phone, so many. But I don't want ID column, because here ID value will be generating by home Salesforce. So that I would like to remove this columns information. So I'm removing this entire column. Delete this entire column. So in the remaining columns, I would like to remove some of the records over here. I'm removing these records. Now, so now here how many records are available? I'm having 9 records are available. So now here I'm changing these values. Instead of having the different names, I would like to use that. Data loader 1. So this is the name which I have given over here. I want to increment this value by 2. Like as a data loader 9. And then for few records, for the first 5 records, I'm giving the value as the prospect. 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 And then for the remaining 2 records, for remaining 4 records, I'm giving the value as customer direct. So now totally 9 records are available. From those 9 records, for the 5 records, I'm giving the type value as prospect. For the remaining 4, I'm giving like as is the customer direct. The phone number here. Okay, I'm entering that same phone number value for the multiple records over here. Now, I have entered some phone number value. Like the similar way, I have entered the fax number value also. And then the website, I'm giving like as the gmail.com for all these users. And for the industry, I'm giving 5 records as the banking industry. And the remaining 4, I'm giving like as electronics. And the annual revenue, I'm giving the same value over here. And the rating, I'm giving like as a hard for the 5 records. And for the remaining 4, I'm giving like as a warm. And then for the remaining 2, I'm giving like a score and the code. Site value I don't want to supply, I'm removing this column here. Active status, I'm giving like as yes. So these are the 9 records I have prepared. Okay, these are the 9 records I have prepared inside my Excel sheet here. Now I want to insert all these 9 records into my account object in one shot. Now, so in this case, how can we do that? Here I will give you 2 scenarios over here. So what are those 2 scenarios? Let's see. Let me explain. So inside my object, I'm having the columns like as the same name. Here also name column, and then type field, phone field, fax, website, industry, annual revenue, rating, active underscore C. That means whatever the column names that we have inside my Excel sheet, with the same name, I'm having the fields inside my object here. Okay. In my object also, we have the fields with the same name. In my Excel sheet also, these column headers are same. Suppose, for example, if both are different, then how can we map? Let me show you both the scenarios here. So now in this case, both are same. That means whatever the column names are there inside my Excel sheet and whatever the field names are there inside my object, both are exactly same. Now let me save this one here first. Okay, now I'm saving this. Now I have created the record. So now let me supply that, how to insert the records into that object here. Click on insert. Select that account object because I want to insert the record into the account object here. So select the object name in which you would like to insert the record. So because here I am going to be inserting the record, so that I am using insert button. Now, depends upon the DML operation which you want to perform, the respective DML operation button we have to select from the data loader tool over here. Now, so now select that Excel sheet, nothing but the input file, where exactly it is located. Because the input file should be in the form of .csv, output file also that in the form of .csv file. Now, the input is what? .csv file. Select that file where exactly it is located, which you would like to dump into your object here. So this is the file that we have, accounts inserts. Select that file by using the browse button. Click on next. Now it is indicating how many number of records are available inside your Excel sheet over here. Now it is indicating that, so now you have 9 records, nothing but initialization succeeded. Now your operation will contain 9 records. Is it correct or not? Yes, because I am inserting that 9 records here. Click on OK button. Now in this case here, let's verify that field mapping. Okay, field mapping. Then what do you mean by this field mapping over here? In my Excel sheet, I'm having some columns. In my object, I'm having some columns. Now in this case, which column of your Excel sheet data should be stored in which field inside your object here? That means columns and the fields, both we are mapping right now over here, so that they can able to store the data inside that respective field. So that here, so it is indicating that. So now current field mapping, nothing but file column header. These are the various columns are there inside my Excel sheet, like as annual revenue, industry, rating, active _ C. These are the columns are there. Now these columns information has to be stored in which field inside my object over here. So here we need to select that. In order to select that columns information, we can able to use a button called as create or edit a map. That means you can create your own mapping over here. So click on create or edit a map. So now here it is indicating clearly over here. Now these are the various fields inside your object here. Now don't think these are the only some 10 fields are listed out. You can see remaining fields by using this scroll bar. So now we can see all the fields available inside your object here. Whatever the fields are there inside my account object, all the fields are available. And at the bottom place, you will be having your Excel sheet column names here. These are the column names. Now, what I want to do, I need to map this one. That means this active status field value has to be stored into the active _ C column inside my object here. So that we need to map. So in this case, to map this one, we can map manually or else we can map automatically also by using that Salesforce. So in this case, it is indicating that auto match fields to columns. That means map this account object fields to this particular columns over here automatically. So in this case, what it will do? So first of all, it will go to this Excel sheet, which will take up the first column name, that is active _ C. Then it will go to that your account object. It will verify if you are having active _ C field is available. It will come collect that field name. It will be mapping over here. It will be mapping over here automatically. Like the similar way, annual revenue field, it will be mapping with that. And then fax field, industry field, like that every field will be getting mapped automatically. So now here in this case, let me show you practically here. Click on auto match fields to columns. Then automatically it is matching over here. Now it has done the mapping over here. So now these are the Excel sheet column headers. These are the actual object columns here. Nothing but these are the fields inside my object. These are the columns inside my Excel sheet. So that this active _ C column information has to store inside active _ C field. Name column information should be in the name field. Rating column information, the rating field. type field, type value into the type field, website into the website, like that it will be mapping automatically. So that here we can able to map that columns information manually over here. Sorry, by using that automatical option over here. Now click on OK button. Once you are mapping that columns with the fields, click on next. So now in this next option, we have to select where you want me to save that output file. That means once the operation has been done, then how do you know the confirmation, whether your records has been inserted successfully or not? If all the records are inserted successfully, then fine. Suppose if any of the record insertion has been failed, then what it will do? Will Salesforce will allow the partial processing as part of data loader? Yes, it will support. That means whenever it is inserting that 9 records, upon inserting the 9 records, 6 records has been inserted successfully, 7th record has been failed. Why? Because inside my account object there is a mandatory field is there. For the 7th record, I did not supply the value for the mandatory field. So that insertion will get failed. So in this case, what will happen? Whatever the remaining 2 records, 8th record and 9th record, will it ignore that? No. Simply it will ignore the failed record. Whatever the 7th record has been failed, it will ignore that record and it will continue with the remaining records inside that Excel sheet as it is. That means Salesforce will allow the partial processing also. In this case, you can raise a question, sir, how do we know which record has been inserted successfully, which record has been failed? Then how do we know this information here? In this case, Salesforce is going to generating an output file to you. In that output file, clearly it is indicating that which records has been inserted successfully, which records has been failed. If the record is failed, why the record has been failed? The error message also, error reason also it will be indicating clearly over here. We'll see practically. Now, select that output file, nothing but where you want me to generate that output file over here. Click on browse button. Okay, click on browse button. So now here I'm selecting that output file location over here. So now go to your location over here. Now I'm selecting our location. Click on finish button. Now it is indicating you have chosen to insert new records. Now click yes to begin. Do you want to proceed? Yes, I want to proceed that. So I would like to continue to insert the record. So click on yes button. Now it will start implementing that process over here. Now it is giving the confirmation to you the operation has fully completed. Your operation has been done. There were 9 successful inserts, 0 errors. That means all the 9 records has been inserted successfully over here. There is no errors available inside those records. All the records have been processed successfully. Now, click on OK button. Let's see where is that file over here. How do we know? Now, when you go to that output file, it will be indicating clearly over here. There is a success file has been getting generated. There is an error file has been getting generated here. So what do you mean by this success file? What do you mean by this error file? That means for each and every operation, Salesforce will generate, nothing but data loader will generate 2 files to you. One is the success file, second one is the error file. Because that I already told you, Salesforce is allowing the partial processing as part of data loader. That means upon inserting some hundreds of records, if one record has been failed, because of that record failure, do we want to cancel the whole transaction? No. I don't want to do that. Because if any of the record has been failed, then at that time, I would like to ignore that record which has been failed and the remaining records I would like to continue as it is. That means some records have been processed successfully, some records has been failed. So that to store that success records information, it is using success file. To store the failed records information, it is using the error file. That means whatever the records has been failed, those records information will be available inside that error file over here. So these are the 2 files will be generating by data loader to you always for every operation. For every DML operation, Salesforce data loader will generate these 2 files, success file and the error file. Now, in this case, when you take this file name over here, I'm copying this file name. Now this is the file name of my import here, nothing but insert operation. It is indicating success. After that, there is a number is available. What is this number in this case? It will be having the date time. 01 means what? First month. 25th is the date. 19th is the year. 10th is the hours, minutes, seconds, and the milliseconds. Because here for 1 second we are having 1000 milliseconds. Okay, 1000 milliseconds is equals to 1 second. So that here, so now I have performed that operation on January 25th. That will be on 2019. So that will be in the time, okay, night at 10 o'clock, 29 minutes, 3 seconds, 259 seconds here. We have the time. Is the time when exactly we have performed this operation here. Okay, but with the same name, it will be giving that one more file to you over here. That is with the name fail, nothing but errors. With the same name, it will be creating one more file that is with the name error here. Instead of success, it will be indicating that error. Suppose if none of the record has been failed, all the records has been processed at that time, this error file will be having empty. Nothing will be there here. Okay, nothing will be there. That will be empty purely over here. So now here we have inserted the records. Now let's go to that, the success file and the error file. Let me open the error file first. Double click on that error file. Error file is empty. There is no records are available over here because all the records have been processed successfully. Let's go to that success file. Double click on the success file. We can able to see that information over here. So now these are the files here. These are the file which is having the records information which we have inserted over here. So now, which we have inserted over here. So now let's see in this case here. Okay, now. So now these are the records, 9 records which I have inserted. So for this records, it has generated the ID. So nothing but one additional column has been added by Salesforce in order to indicate that ID of that record over here. So these are the record IDs here. Along with that, if you want to know whether the record has been processed successfully or not, or what kind of operation you have performed, so that it will be adding one more additional column called as status column here. In this status column, it is indicating clearly item created. That means record is inserted. Okay, item means record. Created means record is inserted. That's it. That means these are the 9 records which has been inserted into my object over here. So this is how we can able to insert the records into our objects over here with the help of the data loader tool. So not only inserting one record at a time, we can insert some multiple records also. Up to 50 lakhs records we can able to process by using data loader. Now let's go with the second scenario. So I would like to take this same records insertion. Now, so these are the same records which I have inserted over here. Now, here I'm changing just the name over here. Instead of data loader 1, data loader account 1. I'm giving that same details over here. Like as data loader account 9 records. I'm trying to inserting the same records over here. Here I'm changing the column names. Type equals to, here I'm indicating that. I'm giving the column headers. Account type. Phone in the sense I'm giving like as contact number. Fax I'm giving the name as fax number. And the active column I'm giving the name as active status. So these are the column names that I have given over here. So these are the column names which I have given to you over here. So now, observe the scenario. Here, inside my account object, I'm having the field names are like as what? Name field, rating field, industry, annual revenue, and then type, phone, facts, like that. But inside my Excel sheet, what is this column names over here? These column names are completely different here. Here I'm having, instead of type, we will be having account type. Instead of phone, we are having the contact number. Instead of facts, I'm having fax number. Instead of active __ C, I'm having the column name as active status. That means if I'm going to be giving like this here, then how can we map that information? How can we insert these records? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, so let me save this file. Now, I want to insert this new records into my object over here. As of now, how many records are available? Let's see. So now when you go to that account, click on all accounts, you can see that you're having totally 25 records are available. So all this previous 9 records have been inserted. Data loader 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9 records has been inserted successfully over here. Now I'm creating 9 more records right now. As of now, we have 25. Let me insert that. Go to the data loader, click on insert, select the object as account, select that input file. This is the input file, account inserts. Click on next. Now it is indicating your operation will contain 9 records. So now count is correct. Now map that columns with that fields over here. These are the columns available inside my object here. Sorry, inside my field, Excel sheet. Now click on create or edit a map. Nothing but we can map that here. Fields with that columns inside the table. Now whenever you are mapping this columns information, as of now we have selected that auto match fields to columns. So that here it will be mapping the columns information with that fields inside the object. So which are having that same name. Like for example, when you click on this auto match fields to columns, it is mapping only few fields like as website, rating, name, industry, annual revenue. Remaining 4 fields it is not mapping over here. Then how can we do that? We need to map these columns information manually. That means what? Whatever the data that I have entered inside my account type field inside my Excel sheet, this data should go where? In which object? In which column this data has to be resides? So for that one, we have to specify that column name. Column names are where these are the available in the top. Now you will be having that active status here. Active column is available, active __ C. So now whenever if you want to map by your own, select that column and then just drag and drop into your place over here. Okay, drag and drop into that place where exactly you want to map. That means active status column value I would like to store inside my active __ C field. So now let's map this information here. Now just you can drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop. That's it, done. Like the similar way here. Account type, the type field here. Next one, phone field. Phone will be into that contact number field. Fax field. Fax will be into that fax column here. So now we have mapped this whole information. Okay. Now here, these are the various column names are there inside my Excel sheet, and these are the various fields are there inside my object. So please copy this information from my Excel sheet to data loader tool. Nothing but inside that objects over here. So we can able to map these columns information by using drag and drop. That means here these are the column names are available. Now, so these are the columns inside my Excel sheet and these are the fields inside my object here. Now we are mapping that. Now click on OK. Now click on next button. Now select that target location where exactly that output file has to be get resides. Click on finish. Now press yes. Now it is indicating that there were 9 successful inserts and 0 errors. Nothing but all the records has been processed successfully over here. Now click on OK. Go to your target location where exactly that files has been available. Now we can take up that file over here. So now this is the latest file which has been generated by Salesforce over here. Now because this file has been generated at 10:41, this file has been getting generated at the 10:29. These are the files are available over here. Now just to open that latest file. Now these are the file records over here. Data loader 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9 records. These records has been inserted into my object. For this record, these are the IDs has been generated by Salesforce, and this is the status of your record. So now we have inserted all these records into our object over here by passing in the form of CSV file. Now, so let's go to your Salesforce instance, refresh this user interface. As of now, we have 25. Now it has to increase that count to. We are inserting 9 more records. That means 34. So click on that, refresh. Now we have the 34 records are available inside your object over here. We can able to see all this information. So this is how we can able to dump more number of records into that object with the help of Salesforce. Okay, this is the concept of insert operation. So where we can able to insert the records into the object by supplying in the form of .csv file. That means we have to give that input over here. Next one, delete operations. So what we can do with the help of delete operation? Delete button is used to remove the records from that object. Okay, I would like to remove some records from the object over here. Now, by using this feature, we can remove one or more records from the object. Based on the specified record ID. That means we need to supply the record IDs. Based on that record IDs, Salesforce will search for those records. It will remove those records over here. So now in this case, so now as of now we have inserted some records over here. Okay, with the name data loader, we have inserted some records. Data loader 1, 2, 3, 4 like that here. I want to remove all these records from my object. So now here I'm collecting each and every record ID over here. So I'm going to be creating one more file. Okay, I'm creating one more file over here. Accounts. Delete. Okay, so I'm going to store this. Now, so now here I am going to be indicating the file name as accounts delete. Click on save. So now here I am removing all these columns. Okay, here I am removing all these columns till this status column here. I am removing all these columns information. So this name column also I would like to remove. I don't want. So not just I'm having that ID column is available. Based on that ID, I want to remove the records here. So I'm saving this file with the name account delete. Save this file. So these 9 records I want to insert, I want to delete from my object here. Okay, now. So now inside my file, account delete, there are some 9 record IDs are available which I would like to remove from my object. So now I want to use this one to remove the records. So now before removing the record, let me verify inside my recycle bin what records are available. Recycle bin is empty. Nothing is available inside my recycle bin. So now let's go to the data loader tool. How to process, how to remove these records here. Click on delete button. Select the object from which you would like to remove that record. Select that object name. Select the file where exactly the IDs has been stored. IDs has been stored inside a file called as account delete. Now, click on accounts delete and open it. So this is the file where exactly I have placed all the account record IDs which I would like to remove. Now, click on next button. Now it is indicating your operation contain 9 records, right? Correct? Now we have to map that columns information. Whatever the ID value is available inside my Excel sheet, so with which field inside my object I need to compare. Okay, your Excel sheet, columns information, and your actual object column information both should be same. Now, so click on create or edit map. Click on auto match fields to that columns. Now click on OK. That means we are done with that field mapping. That means whatever the column is there inside my Excel sheet, this is the column name, nothing but the file column header, nothing but Excel sheets column header, and this is the name of that field over here. Now click on next button. Click on finish. Yes. So now it is indicating that. So whenever you are removing the records from that object, so now if you are trying to be removing some 10 records, fine, directly these records will be placing inside that the recycle bin. For example, if I am deleting some lakhs of records, some millions of records, then upon removing that record, where this record will go, this record will go into that recycle bin here. Okay. Upon removing the record should go into the recycle bin. It's a general process over here. So in this case, as a customer, the customer can't visit your organizations every time. So we need a nearby service. Like the similar way here in this case also, whatever the records you are trying to be removing from your account object, so those records will be removed from the object, and those records are going to placing inside the recycle bin. So but in this case, inside the recycle bin, it can't hold some lakhs of records. It can't hold some millions of records. In this case, what needs to be done here? It is indicating clearly, so now the number of records allowed inside your recycle bin is limited, so but we can't add more number of records. At that time, the additional records we are going to be removing permanently. So at that time, will you okay with that? If we okay, then press yes or else press no. That means here, so whatever the records, okay, whatever the records you have removed, those records will go into the recycle bin. But in some cases, if the recycle bin is not having the required amount of memory, then those records will be removed permanently from your Salesforce instance. Those records we can't restore it back if the limitation has been given by Salesforce to you by default. Now, so now here in this case, we need to specify that information. Now it is indicating that. So now click on yes. So now it is performing that operation over here. It is indicating clearly. So now there were 9 successful deletes and the 0 errors. That means all the records has been removed successfully from your object over here. So if you want to see those records, then click on OK button. Let's go to your Salesforce instance. Now go to the recycle bin. Click on recycle bin. We can see those 9 records. Those 9 records are available inside my recycle bin. That means those records have been removed successfully by Salesforce. So those records have been removed successfully from my account object over here. So based on that requirement. So it depends upon the requirement, you can able to remove those records from your object as well. Now, the next operation we'll see. How can you perform that one more operation over here? So not only insertion, not only exporting the data, and then we can able to insert the records as well. Now let's see the one more operation over here. So we are able to remove those records from the object with the help of this data loader. Now when you go to that account object, you will be having only 25 records. Previously we have 39, so now 34 we will be having now 25 records only here. Because 9 records has been removed. Now in this case, what I want to do is, whatever the account records are available right now, okay, data loader account 1, data loader account 2, data loader account 3, like that. In this case, for those records, I want to update the annual revenue value. As of now, I have given 25 lakhs. 25 lakhs. Now I want to change it to 36 lakhs over here. I want to modify through my data loader. So let's see how can we do this one. How can we update the records over here? So first of all, we have to export those records over here and then go to that exported record data. That means here, this is a success file which we have inserted over here. So now this is the success file which we have inserted. Now from this records, for 5 records I would like to update here, not for all the records here. Remaining 4 records I am going to be eliminating from this place. So only 5 records are available. Second record, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 5 records. For these 5 records, I'm updating these values here. So instead of industry banking, I would like to give the finance. I would like to give the value as finance here. I'm changing the industry name. Annual revenue, instead of 25 lakhs, I would like to give some 37 lakhs 50,000. I'm changing the value over here. Okay, these are the field values I have modified. But we require the account ID itself. Nothing but based on this account record ID, it will collect the actual record from your Salesforce object and then it will be assigned with some new value for your fields over here based on your Excel sheet which was supplied. Now the status column is not required for me over here. Now. So now here I would like to update the phone contact number. Sorry, I'm updating the industry name and then annual revenue value. Now how can we update those records? Now let's see. Now I'm saving this one. Accounts, updates. Accounts, updates. Nothing but I'm updating that account record here. Now, I would like to update these records. Okay, with this latest industry values. Latest industry is finance and then annual revenue 7 lakhs 37 lakhs for 50,000. Now make it save. Now let's go to that update operation. Go to your data loader tool. Click on update operation over here. Select the object in which you would like to update the records. Select the Excel sheet where exactly the data is available here. I'm indicating accounts updates. Select that input file. Click on next. Now it is indicating your operation containing 5 records. Now the count is correct. Now map that column's information. Which column data should get resides inside that which field. So in this case, click on create or edit map. Click on auto match fields to columns here. Remaining columns we need to map manually. Active column field, okay. I'm indicating with that active status. Something but I'm mapping that. That means which column inside the Excel sheet data should store in which field of account object over here. Fax number, I'm mapping over here. And then mobile number. Nothing but the phone. Phone field I would like to map it over here. Contact number. Account type. Type field I'm mapping over here. So now in this case we are able to map this column's information along with the ID also by default. Click on OK. Go to the next button. And then select the target location where exactly the success and error files has to be get resides. Click on finish button. Yes. Now it is updating that records over here. Now it is indicating that the operation has fully completed. There were 5 successful updates and 0 errors. Now let's see that here. So now in this case also 1 error file, 1 success file has been generated here. Now if you want to see the success file, then you can verify that. So now open this Excel sheet. So now what are the records you have specified? All these record values has been updated over there. Now let me go to that Salesforce instance. So now refresh the user interface over here. Now select that record whose name is starting with D. Now for this records it has been changing that value as it is going to be updating that 5 records here. See, 5 records values are updating annual revenue as the actual fee. Nothing but annual revenue here. Like the similar way, so it is going to be updating your other columns information also. Like I would like to see the industry column information. Click on go button, we can see that. So now for this one industry column I want to see. So I click on edit button. Enhance list to be I'm customizing, that's it, nothing else. Now, so now here in this case I'm displaying that industry column also over here. So for my account records whose name is starting with the D, for this account records industry is nothing but for the first 5 records industry is finance over here. So that we have updated the annual revenue value, we have updated that industry value also in one shot. So that here so that we can able to collect the records and then we can able to update those records information into your database objects also by using that update button. Next one. The next button is upsert. So what do you mean by this upsert button over here? I think you are aware of that. Upsert in the sense, it's a combination of update plus insert. Okay, update plus insert. That means we can able to update the records into the same object. We can insert some new records also in the same object in one shot. That flexibility is available to you over here. That means whatever the records you are trying to update, those records information we have to place inside the CSV file. And whatever the new records you are going to insert, those new records information also I would like to place inside the same Excel sheet over here. That means that single Excel sheet contains the records which you are going to update and which I am going to insert both. So that here, instead of performing update operation separately, insert operation separately, we can combine both into a single one as well with the help of this upsert operation. So that upsert is the combination of both insert and update statements over here. So now here in this case, how can we perform this upsert operation? Now let's see practically in this case. So let me take some records to update. Now, so these are the 5 records are available here. So these are the 5 records are there inside my object over here. So now for these 5 records, I'm changing some value. Status column I don't want, I'm removing over here. Now, so I would like to update the account type from prospect to customer direct. I'm updating this record values. Instead of having the Gmail as website name, I'm giving like as Salesforce. Salesforce.com. So that Salesforce.com will be the website name. Now I'm updating these records over here. Along with that, I want to create 2 more records also. Okay, along with that, I would like to create 2 more records also. Okay, I would like to create 2 more records as well. I'm creating 2 more records over here with the same details here, similar kind of information. For this one, I'm giving that industry as banking. Here also banking. And then the annual revenue value, I'm changing over here, 47 lakhs. Now in the second record also, I would like to update the value as 47 lakhs. That means here what I'm doing is, so now inside a single Excel sheet, I'm placing the records which I would like to update, and along with that, I'm going to placing some new records which needs to be get inserted into that object over here. That means both insert operation and update operation inside the object I would like to perform in one shot. So that here in this case here, so now for few records, nothing but for the first 5 records, we are having the record ID. Because these are the records I would like to update. And for the remaining 2 records, I don't have the record ID. That means this record I would like to insert over here. Then how to do this operation now, let's see practically. Now I'm saving this information. Accounts, upserts. Now I'm saving this information. Now my records information has been saved successfully. Now I would like to perform this operation here. Now, so let me perform this upsert operation. Click on upsert. Select the object name as account. Select the location where exactly the records are available, which needs to be get upserted. Select that accounts upsert. Click on next button. Now it is indicating how many records are there, totally 7, right? The count is correct because 5 records I would like to update, 2 records I would like to insert, right? Count is correct. Click on OK. Now based on the ID field, it is identifying that whether this record needs to be inserted or updated. If the record is already having ID inside my Excel sheet, that record will be getting updated. So now, in this case here, if you are having some different ID, then we can able to create that record. Now, so click on next button, map that columns information over here. I'm automatically mapping that. The remaining columns information I need to map manually. The type field I would like to map, and the contact number, nothing but the phone field. Phone field I would like to map, and the fax field I would like to map. I have mapped fax number should be in the fax number column. Phone number should be in the contact number column. That's it. We have mapped. That means here each and every field we have mapped. Now once you are mapping with all the columns inside the Excel sheet with the respective field inside your object, then click on OK button. Click on next. Make it finish. So now I am going to be upsetting those records here. So now it is indicating that, so now there were 7 successful upserts and 0 errors. Okay, 7 successful upserts and the 0 errors. Now click on OK. Let's go to your data loader. So now it is indicating that. Here the successful which has been generated by Salesforce for those 7 records over here. Now these are the 7 records. Then how do you know which record has been inserted, which record has been updated? So in this case, Salesforce is going to be creating one additional column inside this Excel sheet. Here clearly it will be indicating that item updated, item updated, item updated, item updated, item updated. That means what? The first 5 records we have updated. Remaining 2 records it is indicating item created, item created. That means remaining 2 records have been created by Salesforce. So that means 5 records has been updated, 2 records has been inserted into that object here. So that we can able to perform both insert and update operation inside the single object in one shot with the help of database. Inside the database with the help of this upset operation here. Okay. Now. So now we have 2 more operations are available, hard delete and then export all. We'll see in tomorrow's session. Along with that here, what are the various internal processes available in the data loader, we see practically. That means if I'm passing some hundreds of records or some lakhs of records to my data loader as an input, then how data loader will insert those records? It will be considering only one transaction or will it be maintaining any batch processing inside that? If it is a batch processing, then how many types of batch processings are there in Salesforce? And then which batch processing is having, what is that limit? We'll see practically over here. Then how to enable this hard delete button, because hard delete button is disabled state over here. How to enable, we'll see practically in tomorrow's session. What additional permissions are required for this particular hard delete operation inside the profile level, we'll see practically in tomorrow's session. So that tomorrow, within half an hour, we can able to complete this data loader and then we'll move forward to the reports and dashboards concept.